Hey guys, Jake with High Voltage Custom here again. I was going to start talking about some Class 3 items that we're starting to deal with, and everybody knows suppressors are becoming huge on the market now, and they've really come a long ways from what they used to be. I thought I'd show you guys this suppressor we got in for a customer. It's Silencerco Hybrid, and this is the suppressor. If you want something that is going to cover everything, this is the one you want to get. If you look at this, it can cover from, you know, a 9mm pistol all the way up to a 45-70 government and anything in between there. So I thought I'd show you guys how this thing works, and I'm going to mount it on a few different firearms here and show you how versatile this thing really is. So let's take a look at what actually comes with this. So when it comes mounted with the piston adapter, so that you can put this on sub guns or pistols. So that is from the factory, mounted it into the back of this suppressor, and that's the way it comes. So you'll have to adjust that however you need to for whichever firearm you're going to put it on. It also comes with a .46 end cap, which is pretty universal for what this thing will shoot. So it'll do anything, you know, 45 caliber and down basically. And that's the front end cap that it'll come with. And as with a lot of the Silencerco suppressors coming out now, you can mount many different end caps and different attachments to the vise or to the back of the suppressor, so that they're pretty universal with all their different suppressors, including the Omega and the Hybrid, and there's a couple other ones that there's a lot of parts that'll swap out between them. So let's look at this end cap, how this goes on. If you can see in this suppressor, kind of hard to see, but it's kind of your standard baffle setup, and that would be the front. And then on the rear, it's kind of that cone pattern baffle system in there. Kind of hard to see in there, but so the end cap, you know, it comes installed, but that goes on the front. And you can buy different end caps, so you could get a 22 caliber end cap, you get 9mm, 30 caliber. There's all kinds of different end caps, and they'll work on the Harvester, the Omega, and the Hybrid here. So if you guys have any questions, I'm going to cover what I know about them, but if you have more questions, just go on to silencerco.com, and they have a lot of information on there on what you can do with these. So put that end cap on, and then it comes with this wrench, this proprietary wrench, and you can just tighten all this stuff up and do all your different adjustments with these wrenches. Comes with that wrench, comes with some spanner wrenches, and that would be to mount your different attachment options on the back here. So yeah, I said this one comes with the piston adapter. Okay, it does not come with any pistons, so whatever you're going to put this thing on, you're going to have to find the right thread pitch or thread pattern for whatever barrel you're going to be throwing this on. And there, you know, there are your standard AR thread patterns, but there are, if you're getting into pistols, you can have a really different variety of thread patterns. So I'll just start off with the pistol. One pistol I have that you know, you're gonna have to get a threaded barrel with whatever you get, but this is a FNP Tactical 45 threaded barrel, again empty, as you guys can see there. But yeah, bought this one basically to suppress it, but I'll show you how this goes on here. So if you look, the thread pattern on this one would be 0.578 by 1/2, or by 28 1/2. So it's kind of, they're usually etched right on there. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's etched right on the piston. And these are pretty universal pistons through manufacturers. I think you can use these on your AACs and your different suppressors. So, but you'll have to get one of these pistons if you're going to mount this onto your direct thread type situation. So how this works is you're going to put this spring over that, the piston, and then you need to put the retainer on over the piston, and this is what holds the piston and the spring assembly together into the adapter. Inside this is a little O-ring that seals up the back of this so that gas doesn't escape too bad into your face or anything. So you know, you just got a little bit of lube on that O-ring, and then you basically just slide this thing over until it locks that spring down. And as you can see, it's going to move on you. So when that pistol slide is reciprocating, you're going to need that suppressor to kind of float on the barrel so that it doesn't have all that weight interfering with the action of the slide. So if you're going to shoot any type of slide fire pit, you know, or any type of slide pistol that has a slide, you're going to need this device. You're going to need this spring to help let the firearm function with the suppressor on it. So once you get that together, then you just put it in the adapter, and you're going to thread that in there. And that just holds that piston basically inside there. So once you get that together, then that goes into the back of the suppressor. So as you can see, that's where that grip area is. But so then you just throw that in the back here and lock that thing down. I'm not going to tighten them up because I'm going to be doing multiple things on here, but you would just take this spanner wrench and you would hook it onto the back there and then give it a good snug fit, okay? But I'm not going to do that for now because I got to take it back apart again. But anyway, once you have that all together, then it'll just go onto the host firearm. So once you get that on there, give her a good tightening, and that's it. She's ready to go. Okay. So let's think about what if you wanted to keep this adapter in here, because it's always nice if you got multiple firearms that you want to switch these out on to make it easy to switch out. What you can do if you want to keep this piston adapter on here and you want to shoot this on a pistol or a sub gun that's going to shoot subsonics like a 300 blackout, I do have that set up, and I'll show you quick how I would change that out. If you're going to put this on a rifle, you can't have that spring in there, so we're going to need something in there that's going to, you know, block that movement of the suppressor on the barrel. So let's take a look at that. Let's say I wanted to switch this out. I was shooting my pistol, and then maybe at the range I wanted to swap this out and throw it on my 300 blackout subsonic, so, or supersonic. You could shoot that. You can shoot either or through this hybrid. So this hybrid is supersonic, subsonic, pistol, rifle. You know, you can shoot about anything through this, and then it's also full auto rated, so if you happen to own a machine gun, you could use it on that. So let's take a look. If I'm going to swap this out, I'm going to throw this on like a 300 blackout or something like that. What we'll have to do, and I'm pretty sure if you're going to do this, you would probably have to shoot subsonic. I don't know. I'd have to check on the website for sure. But I'm going to get rid of this spring, and this piston isn't going to work with with my 300 blackout, because that takes a 5/8 by 24 thread pattern. So I got a piston for the 300 blackout, and here is that cage that basically locks the whole thing together. So there's not going to be any movement. You know, the suppressor's not gonna move on this thing. You don't want that happening on a rifle because you could end up with maybe a baffle strike, I guess. I don't know for sure, but so I'm basically, I got rid of the piston for the pistol with the spring. I'm gonna throw this adapter on and throw the retainer back on there, and then I throw this thing back in here, and you just gotta hand tighten it. There's no, when you throw this together, there's no putting a wrench on it. You don't need to do that. So just get her hand tight, you know, make it nice and easy on yourself. And then let's take a look here. I've got a 300 blackout right here that I use, and I actually shoot these two a lot together, but again, empty, as you guys can see. So let's take a look here. So once I get that on there, we can again just, this is kind of acting like a direct thread mount though, but I didn't have to take the whole piston adapter apart, so I can quickly kind of, you know, put this between a pistol and a sub gun, and there you go. There's the 300 blackout set up there. So you could make that work real quick out in the range, and you wouldn't have to use any of these spanner wrenches to take that apart. Okay, so let's say you know, maybe just got this for your rifle setup. I'll take this whole thing apart here. Just leave the piston on there. 300. But let's say you wanted to set this up more for a rifle. They do come out with a let me get this thing off here. They do come out with a direct thread mount. Let me show you that quick here. So we get rid of this whole piston assembly. So let's take that apart. So they do make a direct thread mount that does come with the suppressor. So that's about the only, this is about the only thing that is going to come in the box that will allow you to mount this right out of the box to anything. And this is a 5/8 by 24 also, just like that 300 piston setup I showed you. It's the same thread pattern. This does come in the box. So this is, like I said, the only thing that will actually let you mount this on anything right out of the box. So if you had a 308 rifle or a 300 blackout AR type, you're going to have this 5/8 by 24 thread pattern, and you will be able to mount this on your gun right out of the box. So if you're set up with that 308 or 300 or some type of, you know, AR 10 type barrel, you know, with a 30 caliber, you will be able to mount this right out of the box onto your rifle. So if you don't have a 5/8 by 24 rifle or anything, you're not going to be able to run this right out of the box. You're going to have to get ASR Mount or some type of piston that will work with your gun. So let's look at that 300 again. So this is that 5/8 by 24 and the direct thread. Get this thing threaded on here, but you guys can see, there you go. So you could use, if you had the right piston, you could use the piston adapter. If you don't have that and you have like a 30 caliber AR type barrel, this will basically direct thread right on there. So So there you go, right out of the box. If I would have bought this, I could have put it right on this 300 blackout. So just be aware of that. You're probably going to have to buy some extra parts with this thing. So, but it does come with a lot of stuff to help you do that. So let's look at another option. So let's take this direct thread mount out. So that's the only thread pattern that it comes with. It's the 5/8 by 24. So let's look at some other mounting options you can get, and which is really universal between other suppressors, is this ASR mount. And this works, you know, on the Hybrid or the Omega or the Harvester, I think. And really cool mount, real quick attach. It's just, you know, a few aggressive threads in your large thread. You just screw it on a few times, and then, you know, you don't tighten it down hard. You just give it a good lock with this ring. So when you turn this ring, it basically cams these teeth in and engages your quick attach mount. So this is the more quick attach device that you'll probably want to get if you're going to be swapping between different rifle calibers or different rifles, same caliber, it doesn't matter. But this will work with you know, any of your ASR mounts. They do make a muzzle brake type ASR mount or a flash hider ASR mount. So let's take a look at this. So this, again, once you open up the rear end of this suppressor, you can put any of these different mounting options in here. This is the ASR mount. You will have to buy this whole mount separate. It's not real cheap, but if you're going to be swapping quick detach between a lot of your different rifles, this would be the way to go. So let's take a look here. I have a rifle with the ASR mount on it. So once you throw this on, if you have an ASR mount on like a 308 AR-10 or a 5.56, or even they make an ASR mount for a 9mm. So if you got like a AR-9, like a 9mm AR, you could swap this from your 308. If you got that ASR mount on all your different guns, so let's say you had a 9mm AR, you had a 5.56 AR, and you had a 308 or a 300 blackout, and they all had ASR mounts on them, this thing would swap between all of them in a heartbeat. It works really well, clips right on, very few movements, and you know, it's well worth the money if you're going to be shooting different calibers and different rifles. So let's take a look here. I got another rifle here that has the, so what the ASR mount looks like is this. This is a flash hider type, but it basically just screws on here. There's no, with this flash hider type, there's no timing this. So where it locks down to the barrel is where it ends up. It doesn't come with any shims or anything like that, or a crush washer. Now the muzzle brake, you will have to time that one to get the ports out each side. But the flash hider works really well. Just throw it on there. This one is a 5.56, and it is a 14.5-inch barrel, and I pin and welded the ASR mount on here. So we're saving 2 inches by using a 14.5-inch. We're pinning and welding it on here so that we can suppress this thing still. And you know, going 14.5, that's pretty much the main reason, is that you're probably going to suppress this thing. You go 14.5, you save 2 inches over a 16-inch barrel with a flash hider on it. You end up, this thing's right at 16 inches for the ATF, and then we pin and weld it so it's permanently part of the barrel. If you have to get it off, we can, but you're probably going to ruin the barrel. You're probably going to need a new barrel if something goes wrong with this. But you're saving 2 inches. If you're going to suppress, it's every inch counts, because I mean, you put this on a 16-inch with a muzzle device on it, and this thing ends up like a broom handle you're whipping around out there. So if you don't want to SBR this thing and you don't want to go to the pistol route, if you got a 5.56 or something like that, or a 308, I'd, you know, maybe not the 308, but the 5.56, go with that 14.5. Works out pretty slick. So let's take a look here. You know, I got the ASR mount on the suppressor, and what I'm going to do here, you just slide it on over there, engage those. You can see it's not a fine thread. It's a, you know, it's a big heavy duty thread on there, and it locks down real quick. It's very few turns. So once we get it on there, we just spin it a few times. There, it stopped. And then once it stops, then we just give this lock just a slight turn, and that engages those teeth on the ASR mount. The teeth on the muzzle device and the teeth on the mount engage each other, and then that locks this whole thing down. So you know, if I shoot with this 5.56 and then I wanted to go to the 308, I'm just going to take this and unlock it, and then just go ahead and turn it, slide it off, you know, grab my 308, pull her up here, slide that baby on, and then give her a few turns till it stops, and lock. Real nice and easy. And as long as you've got a big enough end cap for the largest caliber you're going to throw through here, you're good to go. So having the right size end cap is going to help with the suppression. It's going to make it quieter because it seals up the round real well when it's flowing through the end cap. But it's not, actually when you're firing, it's hard to even notice. But if you had a decibel meter, you'd probably notice you know, some difference. But yeah, if you know, and then again, if you had a 300 blackout or 9mm, whatever you got, as long as they make an ASR mount or ASR muzzle device for this thing, you can use this, and you can, you know, run that in between all your different guns. But if I want to go to a pistol with this thing, I am gonna have to take this whole ASR mount out, and it's not much. Like I said, you just use them spanner wrenches, loosen it, and this is all you do. You're gonna take this off, throw this setup together, and you're basically gonna thread that on there. You're just gonna throw that in there and use your spanner wrench to lock it down, and now I can go to pistol. So either way, it's really not that bad. But like I said, guys, these things have come a long ways. When you bought these earlier on, or probably 10-15 years ago, you bought these caliber specific. You pretty much bought them gun specific because you had to get the right thread pattern on them. Now, man, these things are so universal, and you know, I don't know, it's really nice of them to do that, because you know, they could make more money by probably just selling individual suppressors, but they really went out there and kind of helped everybody out with that ATF tax stamp, $200. You know, every time you buy a specific suppressor for a specific gun, you got $200 tied up into this thing. So you know, you got multiple suppressors. This one, you got one $200 tax stamp, and this will go on, you know, basically anything you own. So really cool, works out really well. I'd highly recommend this if you don't have a lot of money to spend to buy multiple suppressors. And Silencerco, awesome, great customer service. I have another one of their suppressors, their off spray 45. That's what I use on that FNP Tactical, and I also use this on the 300 blackout, but I can only shoot subsonics through this. So, but either way, it works really well. So yeah, I had this thing was starting to ratchet on me. I sent it off to Silencerco. They had it back to me within a week, and the thing looked like it was rebuilt. I think they rebuilt the whole thing, and it came in a brand new box with brand new wrenches. I thought I had a brand new suppressor at first, but no, it was my same one. You don't want to mess with that serial number and have to pay a new tax stamp. So But yeah, it just awesome stuff, guys. And once you go Silencerco, it's so universal. If you get another one of their suppressors, like I said, you know, if you go hybrid, harvester, or Omega, you know, all these end caps are all universal. You know, this will go on the harvester or the Omega or the hybrid, and it's just cool that they made them so universal, so that if you buy one and you buy another, you can, you know, change out a lot of the parts and use them in many different ways. So, well, that's kind of it on this one, guys. I hope it was informative, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys all the different options to mount this suppressor. And if you're ever interested in purchasing one of these, give us a call. Check us out on Instagram at High Voltage Custom, or you can check out the Facebook page at High Voltage Custom LLC. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.